In less than 2 years, Love Lawrence endured unimaginable loss. Her father, her sister, and her grandmother all passed away. But instead of letting grief define her, she chose to transform it. Out of heartbreak, she built a new path forward, launching a business and opening her own wine bar.
It was really hard. I don't look like what I've been through, but it was a lot. Everything that happened to me made me a better person and made me who I am right now.
Her story of creating purpose from pain, up next on Reinvention at Any Age. How did you end up in this kind of situation?
And that changed the whole trajectory of your life.
This is my light, and I'm going to let it shine. Even if it's uncomfortable, if the change is for the better, it's worth it. Don't be scared, prepare.
Reinvention is possible. Go make it happen for you today.
Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Reinvention at Any Age. I'm Amy Sweezey, and I am passionate about helping you navigate through your reinvention. My guest today is a true example of what it means to reinvent yourself with courage and intention. After a decade as an insurance agent, Love Lawrence realized that she was living a life of security, but not purpose. Taking a big leap of faith, Love traded policies and premiums for passion and people and turned her longtime love of wine, culture, and community into a business venture. Her vision led her to open Amour du Vin, the first Black woman-owned wine bar in Orange City, Florida. And not only did Love reinvent her career, she also started a nonprofit called Faye's Pillars of Hope, honoring her late sister. Love's journey is about realignment as she blends business savvy with heart and is stepping fully into who she is and what she's meant to give the world. Please welcome Love Lawrence to the podcast. Hi, Love. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Amy. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. So first of all, let's just get to know Love Lawrence. Let's start at the beginning. Just where are you from? Where did you grow up? How did you end up in Central Florida, which is where you live now?
I am a true Floridian. I've lived in pretty much Central Florida my entire life. I lived and grew up in Sanford, Florida. I literally went to elementary, middle, high school, all right there in Sanford. Then I moved to Lake Mary in my maybe at 2021. And then I ended up purchasing a home at 23 in Deltona, and I've lived in Deltona ever since. So I'm a true Floridian. I've always been here.
Okay, I feel like that's very unique. A lot of people are, move here from somewhere else, usually someplace cold and snowy to be in the
Yes.
warmth. So how did you end up in the insurance industry? Was that your first job?
No. How did I end up in insurance? So I originally my first job was a secretary for a nonprofit. What a full circle moment that is. That was my very first job. And then I went on to sales for Sears. A lot of people don't know Sears had like a call center and people would make appointments. Sears used to do home improvement for like people's homes, redoing their kitchens, bathrooms, things like that. So that gave me the sales experience. And I want to say, I think at 22 is when I started for Liberty Mutual. And literally, I had never had any insurance sales at all. I was really nervous on the interview. I'm like, I don't know if they're going to give me the job. I've never sold insurance before, but literally, I went to their open house and I started insurance sales and I was really good at it. I knocked it out the park and I was there for 10 whole years.
Well, you must have liked it since you stayed for 10 years.
I did. I did. I loved it. I always tell people Liberty changed my life. I also like they gave you the tools to be successful from like your supervisor. Like a lot of people don't know in your job, your manager or supervisor makes the difference. So I got to give Chris Carmona, which was my first supervisor there, a big kudos because he was one of those people who taught us how to be successful. He's one of the reasons why I bought a house at such a young age.
So you're in this job for 10 years. Obviously, you like it, you're learning, you love your manager, which I would say in this day and age is kind of unusual for some people. What was it then that persuaded you to leave that stability and venture out into this new business?
Unfortunately, it was the job or the company, should I say, was redoing a lot of things because I did work my way up the ladder. I wasn't in sales the whole time. I feel like the first maybe 5, 6 years I was in sales. Then I moved up to a trainer, and then I moved to a supervisor myself. And in that last 2.5 years or so of being a supervisor, unfortunately, Liberty Mutual demoted 22 supervisors, and I was one of them. So
Ah.
that was kind of like a force for me out, almost, you can say, because I had started the business in January and all of that stuff happened in April. So I'm like, you know what? I was overextending myself anyway. I feel like this is kind of God's way of telling me it's time for me to just pretty much go forward straight into the wine room. And I put in my 2 weeks notice and I left because, I didn't want to go backwards in a company, especially after being there for 10 years. So that's kind of how I ended up leaving the company.
So it was kind of one of those things that a lot of times people need that extra push to go do something else. And that was kind of a push you weren't planning on, but it sort of forced you to take that leap.
Yes, because I was drained. I don't know how some people do it all. I was working 40 hours a week, getting off, and then literally going to the wine room and working there until 11 o'clock at night. So it was strenuous. It was a lot. And I feel like it was a force for me to just go full and to do what you love. And I'm glad I did it.
Okay, so then at what point did you start the wine room? You were still working in insurance when you first started that.
Yes. So the wine room started of January of 2024, and I left Liberty Mutual April of 2024. So I was doing both for 4 months.
And what was it that encouraged you or excited you about the wine business?
So I've always been the friend that everyone knew was going to bring a good bottle of wine to the events. I always loved wine. I also love making things pretty, and I love cooking and different things like that. Since we don't have a full kitchen, the charcuterie lets me make things be beautiful. So I can put cute little roses out of salami and different things like that and still make it pretty. Um, and I feel like it put everything that I love together. So it put the wine, it put the creativity, and it put creating a beautiful space for people to come and gather together. So I got a little bit of everything in that one place.
And talk about the timing a little bit too, because I know that, you started a new business, you're still working at your old business, and you also had some really tough years personally. You've shared
Yes.
that your dad, your sister, and your grandmother all passed away within
Yes.
like 2 years of each other. So tell
Yes.
me a little bit about that.
Oh my gosh, this has been the hardest 2 years of my life. I never imagined that this would be my life right now. So, literally in June of 2023, I found out my dad had cancer, and he was gone by September of 2023. But I will say one of the biggest pushes of opening the wine room was finding out my dad had cancer because it motivated me to do something that would make him proud because we knew he was unfortunately going to leave. They told me like, we have to set up hospice and different things like that. So I'm like, let me, try to get this started before he leaves. And literally August of 2023 is when I signed the lease for the wine bar. And unfortunately he passed in September. And I still like persevered through all of that. And we were able to open in January of 2024. And then from there in April, the end of April is when my sister passed away of 2024, and then my grandmother passed away April of 2025. So I'm like, I just feel like I couldn't catch a break. It was really hard. I don't look like what I've been through, but it was a lot. But at the same time, it made me start a nonprofit, which is the Phase Pillars of Hope after my sister. So all of those, everything that happened to me made me a better person and made me who I am right now.
How was it that you were able to navigate through all those emotions? And meanwhile, yes, you're trying to run a business and work while you're doing this, but you're running a business where you have to have a smile on your face and greet people when they come in the door and, be very social. So, what advice would you have for people? How were you able to navigate through all of that?
It was not easy. I'm not going to tell a story. It wasn't easy. Um, I feel like how I navigated was knowing that they would want me to be successful and knowing this is what they wanted for me. I've always been the person in my family that was successful. So I didn't want to let them down. And sometimes I get very emotional. Like the wine bar isn't always doing great. It has very slow times and times where I don't know if we're going to make it through the month. And, I always think like I got to keep pushing because I know that they would not want me to fail. So whenever I feel like I'm ready to give up or throwing the towel, they're in the back of my head pushing me to keep going.
When you opened the store, did you know a lot about wine? I mean, why did you pick? I know you said you were the sort of the wine girl, but why didn't you pick a different shop or different industry? Where did that passion for wine come from?
One, there's not enough representation for people of color in wine, so that was one of the reasons too. Um, I feel like there needed to be more of people who look like me that could represent for people who love wine. And even when I go to like wine trade shows and different things, it's not many people who look like me who are there. So that's one of the main reasons I want representation. Like there is room for like the classy woman of color who loves wine and who knows about wine. And I am a level 1 WSET professional, so I do have, like, wine certification. I can teach people about wine. Um, and when I first started, I knew some, but I know so much more now. Like, I've gotten a lot more training since I first opened. So I feel like those people who might have came in, like, that first 6 months, if they came back now, it's a complete different store. More wine selections, more options, different ambiance. We we've grown so much since we first started.
Tell me a little bit about the steps that you took to transition over to wine bar owner. What were some of the things that you needed to do after you left your job before you could, just kind of be all in with this?
Oh my god. I had to delegate money properly to make sure it could keep staying afloat. Because going from a high earning job of being really good at sales and being over a sales team and having steady monthly income coming in to nothing at all is scary because you're truly depending on that business and that's it. So I had to get better with budgeting. I had to really change uh, how I spent money and how I thought about money and the relationship I had with money. So now I just make sure I have everything ready for, okay, so this is due then, and I gotta make sure I have this prepared for the wine bills. It kinda just changed the way that I looked at my relationship with budgeting and money, which I'm thankful for, because I feel like before I could have been a little more like, do whatever I want, whenever I want, and not think twice about it, and that's not a good I feel like that wasn't a great thing. So now I feel like I have a much better relationship with managing money.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people think, oh, it's so easy to be your own boss or have your own business, but you have to wear so many hats that I don't think most people think about.
Agree, because 'cause I'm literally everything. I am the content creator. I am I'm the money manager. I'm the accountant. I'm the like literally everything when it comes to that business until it gets busier and I can afford to delegate and spread it out. But right now I'm everything. And that's some things I worry about because I made myself the face of it more. And I'm like, was that a great idea? Was it not? And now I feel like it was a great idea. I'm sitting here on your podcast, being able to share with the world like what I've been going through and my experiences. So I feel like I'm glad I did make myself the face.
So, what advice would you have for others then who've maybe been in a job for 10 years, like you were, and now they're thinking of just completely changing gears, maybe venturing out on their own to start a business?
My advice is have a support system. I would not be here without my fiance, Chris. Like he is such a big help, because he still has his full-time job and his career. I'm able to let go and be able to full force go into what I love because I know he's gonna be there to help me. So I feel like having a support system is great. Build an audience, an authentic audience, people who truly wanna support you. And once you find those people, they will go through woodworks to come support you. Like, that is huge. We had people come from Tampa to come support my a 2-hour drive away just to support because I built that audience of people who wanna see me succeed. So I feel like that's also really important. So between having a support system and building the right audience, you can't fail.
So, what are some of the pitfalls or maybe the challenges that you've encountered along the way?
Woo, I will say the biggest challenges have been people taking me seriously. Before we ever even opened, I went through about 15 to 20 contractors trying to get them to take me seriously. I don't know if it was because I was young or what the case was, and also because it was such a big project. Um, I went through a lot and I'm so thankful for the last one. His name is Isaac. They literally came in, they took me serious, they got the job started, they got it done, they got the permits. And I'm so thankful for Isaac and everything that they helped me do. And they even did some stuff they didn't have to, like put paintings on the wall and everything else. That was one challenge. The second challenge was being kind of taken serious in the wine world because once again, there's not many people who look like me in the wine space. So customers would come in and automatically assume like maybe the wine wasn't that great. Or I would ask them, would you like any recommendations? And they wouldn't like, they'd be like, well, I don't need recommendations from you kind of look. So it was different challenges I experienced, but I feel like all those people have kind of weeded themselves out, like the ones who may not be as be kind of apprehensive to take advice from me. Now I have people who come in and truly know like love has the best advice. Love's gonna give me what I like. They can even just tell me like, oh, I like a Pinot Noir or I like a Cabernet, and I can give them something new to try that's very similar that they didn't know they liked it. Now they have a new wine they can go in and try. So that's some of the struggles, and now we've made our way over those, and the people who come, they know what she's doing. She's good at what she does, and I can trust her, and I love that the people know that they can trust me with their wine.
Well, with all of that in mind, is there anything as you look back that you might change? Is there anything that you would do differently about the process?
Hmm. Honestly, no. I used to wanna change things, but I feel like all of those things brought me to the customer base I have. They brought me to all the opportunities I have. Because sometimes I debated maybe I shouldn't have made myself the face of the company, but I feel like it was all meant to be. I've been featured on the news. I've been asked to speak at conferences. Like I said, I'm here now all because I made myself the face. So it was all worth it.
And you're very good on social media. That's how I found you to begin with.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm trying.
See,
So thank
and that's when your younger age comes in very handy. See, they don't take you seriously, but you've got an edge that older people don't have.
thank you. I appreciate that.
So I know, your dream and your mission was to create this space, not just with wine, but connection and community. I know that's something that you talk about in your social media, you talk about it on your website. So how does Amour du Vin reflect that mission of yours?
We do so much for the community. Even before I started the nonprofit, we did a big Christmas thing. It was the parents had to bring a toy, and they were able to get a free professional photo with Santa. And thank you to A Fritz Photography, Amy. She literally volunteered her time, took all the photos for the families, edited them, and then gave them back out to the families for absolutely free of charge. So it was teaching the kids like you can give back. And then you can also get something back. We had free pizza that was donated by a law firm. Like we literally, that was just me wanting to do something for the community. So the kids, yes, you give and then you get something back. You get a free picture with Santa. We we've done so much. I did free coffee and pastries after the hurricane, so people could come in and like on a Saturday afternoon and get a free cup of coffee and some pastries. Because a lot of people had no power, and we had power, so we gave people a place. Like, hey, if you don't have anything, come grab a snack, come grab a cup of coffee. If you don't have any power, so I'm always trying to think of ways to give back because I have a space that I'm already using and utilizing. So why not give back to the community? It's so much I could name off that we do, and I'm so thankful to have that space to be able to utilize to give back to the community.
Well, one of the things we talk a lot about on this podcast is that reinvention isn't just about changing careers or switching your hobbies. It's really about finding your purpose and then, of course, making your life choices to kind of fulfill that purpose. So, is that how you would describe your reinvention?
Yes, it helped definitely helped me find purpose. I was sitting out behind a desk for 10 years, selling insurance, doing the same thing over and over and over again, and feeling like I did not have purpose. Versus now, I get up every day excited to go to the wine bar. There's people who like literally come looking for me. If I'm not there, they're asking the staff, like, where's love? like so it really does give me purpose. And to know that people, like I said, they trust me and they trust what I can offer. And even part of it is we offer event space. A lot of people don't know that it's not just a wine bar. People rent it out for birthday parties. We had an engagement party turned into a wedding. Like though that couple will always have me and my place as a memory to know that they got married there. So I feel like it brings so much satisfaction to me and know that this place gives so much purpose. We had a Think Pink breast cancer bingo there the other night where women raise money for breast cancer. Like this space gives so much to so many different people in so many different ways. So I feel like it's so on brand for me and I'm so thankful to have it.
I want to talk a little bit about your nonprofit, Faye's
Uh,
Pillars of Hope, which you mentioned. It was named after your sister who passed away. How
Yes.
did the nonprofit come about?
So, um, my sister was only 35 years old and she passed away from pancreatic cancer. And it was so tough. We it just happened so fast. We found out and like she was gone in months. It was traumatic for my entire family. And I had to find a way to escape from, like, like, the sadness and the grieving and figure out how can I help her name live on with honoring her and what she loved and also bringing wellness initiatives to the community. So my sister loved children. Like, she unfortunately she never got to have children of her own, but she loved them. So half of our nonprofit is community development. So we work with kids and families in different ways we can help them. And then the other half of the nonprofit is wellness. So we did like a big women's wellness expo. We're trying to work now at having different like Zumba classes at the wine bar free for getting people, women and moving and getting them up. For the community development side, we go to Ronald McDonald House once a month and we cook for the families of the kids who have cancer. So we're always trying to find some way to help and something to do to like honor her and give back. So I'm thankful to have it and to kind of infiltrate wellness and what she loved, children and helping people.
So talk a little bit more about like what's your ultimate goal with the nonprofit? How does it benefit the community?
The ultimate goal is building a wellness center right here in Volusia County. I feel like it's needed. My inspo is there's a wellness center in Winter Park that is put on by, I believe it's the Winter Park Foundation. It's called the Center of Health and Wellbeing. That center is something I want exactly like right here in Volusia County, where people can walk, they can get diabetes tests, and they can get blood work done so they can truly work on taking care of themselves. There can be a healthy food restaurant that's in there that people come and get healthy food that's affordable. Maybe have like a little gym. So that's my main goal at the end of all of this, that we can build a wellness center right here in Volusia County that gives people access to so much right in one place.
I know the nonprofit is named after your sister. Do you
Yes.
feel like it was mostly because of her and her passing, or did you have other personal experience that kind of played into your commitment of giving back?
It was the main reason was her and her passing, but I always had a love for community and giving back and helping people. I've been a giver my entire life. I'm all like anyone can call me. I can give someone a shirt off my back if I'm able to. So I feel like it played into my personality, but it also gets me to be able to let my sister's name live on, hopefully forever. I hope this nonprofit never goes away.
A lot of people think about starting a nonprofit, but it is a lot harder than it seems. So, what are some of the steps that you took in order to make this happen and fulfill this dream?
Um, I have to say thank you to the small business development. They have a program that helps, like literally, you pay all the fees to the state and IRS and different things like that, but they walk you through the process of how to do it. And Francine Lucas, who was absolutely amazing, she helped me do all of that. So she literally shared screens and we went through the process of getting the nonprofit started. And a lot of people think like, oh, I have a nonprofit, and then people just throw money at you. No, that's not how it works. It takes a lot of work, a lot of fundraising, a lot of ideas. You need a team. I've been doing a lot of this on my own, but I'm so happy to finally be in the process of building a team and board members because you need the help. With more help, you can have more outreach, more hands on deck, more people you can spread to. So I feel like that's the biggest thing I would tell anyone. Make sure you go to a legitimate person to help you start it because I've heard of people getting scammed before. So go to someone that's reputable. Number two is once again, build a team. It is hard to do it on your own. And three is have proper expectations. It's the first year, maybe even 2 years is gonna be hard. I'm almost at my 1 year. December makes a year. And I'm just thankful for my mindset and my brain because I have been able to do so much in such a little bit of time because I'm one of those people, if I set my mind to something, I'm gonna do it. So I'm like, go get it. Like it's going to happen. Like I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna make it happen. So I'm thankful for that. So set the proper expectations. It's not gonna be easy, but it will be worth it. This whole process has been so rewarding. I'm so thankful for this nonprofit. It's given me such purpose to like to see smiles on people's faces when I give them awards for the work that they do in the community, to see those little kids at the Ronald McDonald House and us being able to feed them, meals and like, seeing their little smiles. Even to getting the women up and moving as we're doing Zumba and they're like smiling and they're laughing and they're working out and they're moving their body out and realizing they're doing it. All of this has given me so much purpose. And a lot of this has been self-funded. Like I'm doing it on my own. Like this is my own hard-earned money that I'm pushing. So I hope, that next year we can get more sponsors, more help, and more people who want to really get in and help us achieve all of our goals.
Would you describe yourself as an extrovert or a people person? Do you think that that is an important personality trait to have when your ultimate goal is to connect people and sort of create these experiences.
Yes, I feel like you have to be. And I wasn't always like this. I used to be terrified of public speaking. Like my voice would crack. I would shake. It was so bad. I took speech classes in college and used to be up there shaking. It was so bad. But I forced myself. I like started doing more events where I had to speak in front of crowds and I had to get in front of people. And now I do it like a pro. So that's another advice. Make yourself uncomfortable. And I mean this in the nicest way, like do it scared. Do it. Do it, keep doing it, and eventually it will become like second nature. Like now I can get in front of cameras. Like before I can even do this, I would be cracking, I would be shaking, I would be terrified. But now I'm a pro because I kept doing it. So that's my advice for that. Just keep doing it. It'll get better.
When you mentioned earlier how important it was to surround yourself with supportive people. So through, starting the business and the nonprofit, how, what advice do you have for other people when it comes to, sort of finding their tribe or, embarking on an adventure like this to make sure that they have that village around them?
Sometimes your tribe will find you. I would say that too. If you're doing the right things and people see what you do, they will reach out to help. So that's part of it. So if you do the things the right way and you do it professionally and people know, like if love throws an event, it's going to be amazing. I've built a reputation that where if I put something together, it's going to live up to people's expectations. So I feel like the first step is making sure you do things the right way, you do it properly, you put everything in order, and it comes out great. So don't promise something and then underdeliver because once again, the people will come to you once you keep doing things at such great levels, they'll want to be a part of what you're doing. So that's one thing. The other part of getting the support is networking. I network so much. So much. I'm part of the Hispanic Chamber, the Winter Park Chamber, uh Rotarian. I'm everywhere because those people have become my tribe because I went out and found them. So you have people who come to you. That's when you have to go out and find people. So I also would say join the clubs, join the groups, shake hands, go to free networking events, go to paid networking events, but find the people that align with you and your vision and they will want to help.
Knowing what you know now, what would you go back and tell a younger Love Lawrence? Maybe you're in high school and your whole life is ahead of you. What would your advice be to yourself?
Don't change a thing about yourself. Stay exactly who you are. Um, I will say my grandmother raised me to be a little Southern Belle. Like my grandmother told strangers she loved them. Like that's how I was raised, and that's exactly how I am. And sometimes I always felt like maybe I'm a little too nice, or sometimes people can abuse your niceness. But I would say keep being exactly who you are. Do not change your niceness. Do not change your personality. Stay being loved and you live up to your name and don't ever change a thing about yourself.
You've given us some great advice. You've given some great advice to your younger self. What would you like to say in closing to those who are listening to this podcast today who can really relate to your story and they want to forge ahead with their own reinvention, but maybe they're a little hesitant? What do you say to them?
Do it. Do it. Do it scared, but just do it and have a plan. My biggest thing is have a business plan. Finances matter. Save up the money before you jump ship. So make sure you have your finances in order. Make sure you have a budget. Make sure you have a backup plan as well, where backup funds can come from because all of that stuff is going to be needed. So I say go out and do it. Make sure you have the support. And I'm a person of faith. Pray about it. I feel like it will always guide you and where you need to go and what's the right decision for you. And that's my advice. You know, make sure you have the support and don't give up on your dreams because it's always going to be worth it. Even if the first time doesn't work, even if the second time doesn't work. I've had so many business ventures. I've had an online boutique. I've had so many different things, but guess what? I never gave up. You keep trying different things until the one sticks. And I found what sticks now. And I have a story to tell, and I'm thankful to be able to tell it because of that.
Love Lawrence, thank you so much for being here and being our guest on my podcast. If people want to know more about you, where can they find you or follow you?
So on Instagram, that's Amour du Vin _OC. On Facebook, they can find it at Amour du Vin. And then for the nonprofit, we have a Facebook. It's under Phase Pillars of Hope. And then just to learn more and see all the amazing things that we do with the nonprofit, you can find us at phasepillarofhope.com. And I look forward to all of the support. If you want to volunteer, if you want to be a board member, we do so many community events. If you want to be involved, please sign up for our volunteer form. We have it on the website, and that's how you can find me.
All right. Well, I know your story of reinvention is going to inspire so many others. So thank you again for being here.
Yes. And thank you so much, Amy. I appreciate it. Thank you.
As we close today's episode, I hope Love Lawrence's story reminds you of the power of courage, resilience, and reinvention. In just a few short years, she faced profound personal loss, yet chose not to let grief define her. Instead, she honored her loved ones by realigning her life with her deepest passions, creating community through Amour du Vin, and carrying forward her sister's legacy through Phase Pillars of Hope. Remember, reinvention isn't just about starting over. It's about stepping fully into who you were always meant to be. So if you're feeling stuck in a life of security but not purpose, let this be your invitation. You have the power to take that leap of faith, to turn pain into purpose, and to write a story that reflects your truest self. Whether you want to reinvent yourself or you have to reinvent yourself, remember, reinvention is possible. Go make it happen for you today.